everyone, my name is Kenny Cormandy from the Airgun channel My Airgun Reviews, and today we're going to do a comparison between the Benjamin Jim Shockey Steel Eagle 22 caliber NP2 air rifle and 22 caliber and the older version of the NP and 22 caliber. This is the Benjamin NP XL1100 in 22 caliber. The NP2 Steel Eagle. Right now the Benjamin Jim Shockey Steel Eagle NP2 sells for $199.99 to $239.99. The Benjamin Trail NPXL1100, I paid $235 something, including shipping and handling from Big Supply Shop. I believe that's still the price. And everywhere else, Amazon is $244 and change plus free shipping. Unless you get the 25 caliber, that is only $229.99, which puts it right in there with the Steel Eagle. And the average retailer is selling it right now for $259.99, so the price has come down a little bit. And basically this gun is $20 more than the NP2. So what do you get for that extra $20? For the extra $20, you're getting 5.5 more foot-pounds of muzzle energy, and you are going from a 3 to 9 by 32 millimeter non-adjustable objective scope to a 3 to 9 by 40 millimeter adjustable objective scope. Now this gun came with the adjustable objective mil-dot reticle, but it did have a bad scope. The eye relief piece would not stay in place. 3 shots of the reticle will go fuzzy. So I sent it back, and the one they sent me does not have mil-dot reticle. I don't know why. When I did the actual test, I used the Hammer's 3 to 9 by 40, which is pretty much the same scope, and when I actually set this one on top of the center point, they are identical. These scopes are made in the same plant. Amazing. So even though I used the Hammer scope, it's identical to the center point scope. So anyway, both guns are rated at 1100 feet per second shooting alloy pellets. The Steel Eagle NP2 got an up to 991.9 feet per second shooting the 9.9 grain RWS Hypermax alloy pellets. It had an extreme spread of 5.09, standard deviation of 1.73, and a high muzzle energy of 21.63. The Benjamin NPXL 1100 22 caliber shooting that same 9.9 grain RWS Hypermax had a high of 1111 feet per second, literally 120 feet per second faster. The extreme spread was 12.52, standard deviation 4.47, and a 27.14 maximum muzzle energy. That's fairly impressive. Now shooting the lead pellets, I don't know what the NP2 I think is rated at 900 feet per second. It got an up to 861.5 feet per second, extreme spread of 7.3 feet per second, standard deviation 3.31, and a high muzzle energy of 19.62. That's shooting the RWS Hobby 11.9 grain. And that same pellet in the NPXL 1100, we had a up to 943.7 feet per second. I believe the gun is rated at 950, and so that's right in there. Extreme spread of 15.99, standard deviation 6.70, and only 23.31 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Probably the one pellet that both guns shot very well was the Crosman Premier Dome 14.3. Amazing. The NP2 had a high of 811.9 feet per second, an extreme spread of only 3.15 feet per second, a standard deviation of 1. And that fastest shot generated 20.94 foot-pounds muzzle energy. Whereas the XL1100 had an up to 912.4 feet per second, 100 feet per second faster basically. This extreme spread of 7.44 feet per second, standard deviation 3, and 26.44 foot-pounds muzzle energy. Both guns generated the most power shooting the Gamma match 15.43. The NP2 had an up to 799.5 feet per second, 22.03 foot per second extreme spread, standard deviation 8.42, and a high muzzle energy of 21.91 foot-pounds muzzle energy. The NP XL1100 had an up to 895 feet per second, a 21.01 foot per second extreme spread, very similar, 8.71 standard deviation, and 27.45 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. So both guns are pretty consistent in how they're shooting the pellets. The NP2 was a little bit more consistent on some of the pellets, and about the same with the Gamma match as the NP2, but the Trail NPXL definitely averaged about 5.5 foot-pounds of muzzle energy more. So I'm going to put up the numbers here for you to see, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, physically, the guns, the NP2 is 46.8 inches long. The NPXL 1100 is 48.25 inches long. So this one is 2.5 inches longer, basically. I know this one's advertised with a 19.5 inch barrel. I'm not sure about the NP2, but both of them from breech to muzzle are measured 20.75 inches long. So it's pretty much the same. They're very similar steel jacketed barrels. The barrel on the NP2 is just slightly larger in diameter. It is quieter. That is about, the NP2 is down close to 85 decibels with the closest, or with the quietest pellet, whereas this one is more in the 95 decibel range. So you're getting about a 10 decibel quieter gun shooting the NP2. The NP2 weighs 8 pounds without the scope. The XL1100 weighs 9.7 without a scope. Now the cocking effort is where the biggest difference is. They're advertised at 30 pounds on the NP2, and I measured it several times at 28.5 foot-pounds of cocking effort. And the NPXL 1100, this one I measured several times at 39.5 pounds cocking effort. So the NP2 is actually 11 pounds less cocking effort than the NP2 XL. But the NPXL 1100 definitely puts out more muzzle energy. Now, I suppose we know what the guns cost and what kind of energy we get. We want to know how accurate they are. The one thing I really noticed on the accuracy test was the NP 1100 put all of the pellets closer into the target than the NP2 did. They both did fairly well. They were, I'd say the NP 1100 had just slightly tighter shot patterns, not by a whole lot, but they were just a little bit smaller in diameter. I did not have a good time doing the accuracy test for these two guns. I performed the test twice. The first time somebody had stolen my shooting rest, and so I was just shooting, you know, from my shooting bench, you know, with my hand supporting the guns. And so you see a few more flyers in that one, but it was a very, very windy day, and there was a lot of distractions, and I just did not have a good time. But that went for both rifles. And then the second day that I went out to do it again, I had a new shooting rest. I was still getting accustomed to that shooting rest, but again, the winds picked up and it was very windy. So I'm going to show you both sessions. It's 4 pellets, 5 shots each with both guns. Here is the first round where I did not have a shooting rest. Okay, here's the Crossman Premier Hollow Points. I had 2 really bad shots on that one, 3 through the same time. And then on the H1100, just over the size of a quarter. And on the JSP Exact Jumbo Heavy, cover everything with a quarter. And the JSP Exact Jumbo Monster, 4 of the 5 through a quarter, and I've jerked 1. Okay, now here is the second round, which was also a windy day. I did have my shooting bag, but it was still a very windy day. Okay, with the Crossman Premier domed, I can cover 4 shots with my finger and one just a little high. With the H&N terminators, I got 4 pretty close together and one was way high. And the JSB Exact Jumbo Heavies, it looks like I got 3 through 1 hole and then 2 a little bit lower, but that's a pretty good shot pattern. And the JSB Exact Jumbo Monsters, it's for that heavy pellet, that's a pretty decent shot group. No shot pattern was real tight, but the Benjamin Trail NP XL1100 seems to keep everything closer into the target. Here's the Crossman Premiers, whereas the Golden Eagle shot a little bit right, and then the H&N Terminators, I think both shot patterns are, this one maybe just slightly tighter, but it's in much closer to the bullseye versus the Golden Eagle. And then the JSB Exact Jumbo Heavies, they were all right in on the bullseye, pretty tight pattern. And the JSB Exact Jumbo Monsters also in pretty close to the bullseye. I think the Benjamin Trail NP XL1100 is just a little bit more accurate. Well, there isn't a big difference in accuracy. Like I said, I think the NP XL1100 shot a slightly smaller pattern than the NP2. I think I put more pellets through the same hole with the NP2 more often, but I still, you know, bigger shot patterns. The NP XL1100 is more demanding. It's got more recoil. and but I still manage a tighter overall shot pattern. So I guess the bottom line is, which gun is right for you? Basically, they're both putting out enough power to take down most critters, up to a raccoon. I would not shoot as far out with the NP2 as I would with the XL1100. I think it's just a little, if you're going out to 35 or 40 yards or something like that, I would definitely want to use the XL1100 over the NP2. If the weight of the gun makes a difference, the NP2 is lighter. The NP2 is so much easier to cock, and it is 10 decibels quieter. Those are the big advantages of the NP2 over the NPXL. But still, at around 95 decibels, the NPXL is a very backyard friendly. In the NPXL 1500, you're going to have to stick to the very heavy pellets, or you're going to be breaking the sound barrier, and you're going to be upwards of 110 to 120 decibels. Shooting light pellets out of a 1500. So you know, if you do end up with a 1500 model, in either one, if the 177 caliber in either gun, you want to stick to the heavy pellets. And in the 22 caliber, only the alloy pellets went supersonic in this one, not in that one. And overall, they're both very good guns. As far as triggers go, the NP2 comes with a slightly better trigger out of the box, but is still a very long first stage, and adjusting the adjustment screw all the way back out as far as you could go. It's an extremely long first stage, but a predictable second stage. I was just really uneasy with that trigger. The trigger was pretty crappy with this NPXL1100 out of the box, but by just removing the adjusting screw and putting in a longer adjusting screw, I just ran it in about the same distance as the first one was in, and just kept working it in, and ended up with a very predictable trigger. And so once you change the adjusting screw in the NP2 or the NPXL, you have a much more desirable trigger in the NPXL than you do in the NP2. So the trigger comes a little bit worse, but with just that simple adjusting screw, it is so much better than the NP2. It's unbelievable. So that's really the big difference. Me, for my money, especially getting this gun for $235 from Big Supply Shop, which one is my favorite? It's the NPXL 1100. It's been around for a long time. I had one. Your slight person that could use a lighter gun and an easier cocking gun, the NP2 is a very good choice. So that's my review comparing the two guns. So my name is Kenny Cormandy, and I am now posting all my videos on Daily Motion because they are monetizing all the gun ads. So tune in to Daily Motion for my airgun reviews. And you can also visit me on Facebook at Facebook/MyAirGunReviews, and you can see there's a connection there to all my videos. So my name is Kenny Cormandy, and thank you for watching.